TB here again, producer of the vibe. You're welcome to another video, and in this video I'm gonna be showing you all how I mix my gospel vocals. Without wasting much of our time, let's get right into it. I'm gonna play the song fully mixed, and I'm gonna go through the process of how I got that sound. I'm gonna play it dry also, so let's get right into it.
Kayanasha Mande Kilabra Kadia.
It's T-Beats with a vibe.
You've been so good to me. You've been so good to me. You've been so good to me. There's so much to say. How good you've been to me. I cannot tell it all. Yeah. There's so much to say. How good you've been to me. I cannot tell it all. There's so much to say. There's so much to talk about, but I cannot tell it all. Your death on the cross is my benefit. That is why I sing this melody. Enjoying life so easy, so easy. So easy. Your death on the cross is my benefit. That is why I sing this melody. Enjoying life so easy, so easy, so easy. Fortunate, so fortunate, so fortunate. We are fortunate, we are fortunate, so fortunate.
Yeah, easy ọba pàtàkì tó dẹ́yẹ tó dánràn ọba pàtàkì tó láyé gbàṣẹ pẹ́sẹ̀ ní gbàgbọ́n gbàṣẹ méje lẹ́sẹ̀ ṣùṣù wọn lẹ́ yúwé sí inú lọ́jà kọ́lọ́jà tó ṣoṣù wọ àgbẹ̀jọ́ kan sì gbà jẹ́dọ̀ rẹ̀.
Little is much is all I see. Oh, oh, your ends of glory I see. So, so fortunate, Lord. All the cars, the word I see. On Mount Calvary, you died on the cross. You know, say if you come this earth, you go die, but you do one for my sake. Little is much when God is here. Can he? Little is much when God is in it. I know fi shout, I know fi roll. Your praises in my heart can never run dry. Oluwa mo tope, Orushe mo tope. So, so fortunate for the love, for the joy, and the peace.
Okay, as you can hear that it sounds very well, very gospel-y, if there's any word like that. Okay, what I did first, I'm just gonna turn off all this as usual. Gonna leave the vocal bus, and I'm gonna go through the step-by-step process on how I mix this. So let's get right into it. Let me play it with without the effects, just a few of it, and go through the process of how I mixed it, so you'll hear the difference.
Kayanasha Mande Kilabra Kadia.
It's T-Beats with a vibe.
So good to me, you've been so good to me. There's so much to say. How good you've been to me. I cannot tell it all. Yeah. There's so much to say. How good you've been to me. I cannot tell it all. There's so much to say.
So as you can hear that, that's the very dry version of it, without any processing whatsoever. Mixed one of the vocals first. I think let me go to the point, yeah, this vocal was what I started off mixing because there were two different people who actually sang on this song. The name of the song is Fortunate, by the way. Mixed, mastered, and produced by me also. I made the beat. Sung by Joe Rex and Amaju. A very amazing song. So I mixed the Joe Rex's vocals first, and as usual, I have the auto tune, the deductive EQing. And in my previous video, I explained why I did this with the budget-friendly microphone, and why I didn't do the regular boost and sweep method. And I have the SR, the limiter. I went through all this in my previous videos and how to actually go about them, and it was the same person who sang in my previous video that actually sang in this one too, so I just sort of copied the vocals and then just pasted it the same way, but made some few changes in some areas that it was actually just going off the roof. You can see I used another DSR in this one, and I didn't use the slick EQ this time around because it's a gospel vocal. It's meant to sound I don't know, but from what I've perceived with most gospel vocals, the high ends are a lot more controlled than some other secular music out there. It carries a whole lot of reverb also, so that's how his own vocals are processed. I'm gonna move on to the other person's vocals, Amaju's vocals. Let me play that dry first.
You've been so good to me. You've been so good to me. You've been so good to me.
Okay, I'm gonna turn off the beat and I'm gonna play it again.
You've been so good to me. You've been so good to me. You've been so good to me.
Okay, like I said in my previous videos, I said I noticed how these budget microphones are actually so brutal on the high end, especially when you sort of increase your projection when recording. It's so rough and brutal on the high end. It's painful to actually listen to, so that was why I had to cut this. Let me zoom in a lot more. I recorded directly into a compressor, the Fruity compressor. I set it and recorded directly into the Fruity compressor and directly into auto tune. I recorded them with auto tune and the compressor, so I have a little more control of the dynamics. So as you can see here, you can see it was all recorded right here. So I reduced, I cut this part out and reduced it a whole lot more because it's so brutal. Let me play that.
You've been so good to me.
As you can see, it is so it's tamed. If I were to allow it to go through, here's what it sounds like.
You've been so good to me.
As you can see, like I said, painful to listen to. So I'm just gonna go right.
You've been so good to me.
So you see, it's a whole lot more controlled.
You've been so good to me.
And when you start adding effects to it, it brings out the harshness even more. It's better, it's controlled at the initial stage. So after that, I did the whole gain staging on a lot more part of the vocals, and I also did a cutting. I cut out a lot of breath. Any of the breaths that the noise gates didn't take out, I cut them out. Like this one was taken out by the noise gate.
Yeah, that's.
You can hear that it was taken out by the noise gate when I finally added noise gate. But aside from that, every other one you see around was actually that wasn't taken out by the noise gate. I actually cut them out to get a cleaner, more professional sound. So I went for the auto tune on his vocal, then the same EQ because it was recorded with the same microphone. But what I did, I noticed this brutal sound at this range from his own voice so I cut them out. If I were to play it now, you will listen to it. Let me solo that out. So let me play that now so you listen.
You've been so good to You've been so good to me. To me. You.
So I don't know if you can hear that fully well right now, but after adding all the effects, it was too brutal to my ear, so I had to control that from the initial stage, and I noticed it all through his own vocals. So after that, I have the de-esser to control the excessive sibilants. I have the limiter as a noise gate. I have the Pro C2 to just catch the peaks. I have the Pro MB right here, the multiband compressor. I also have the Fruity compressor, which I initially recorded them into. I have the Slick EQ here altogether.
You've been so good to me. You've been so good to me. You've been so good to me.
For his own vocals, I actually used the Slick EQ, but what I did was just select a preset there to sort of give him this brighter sound, because he has a lot of depth in his vocals already.
You've been so good to me. You've been so good to me.
So it's not totally dull. So with the instrumental,
you've been so good to me. You've been so good to me. You've been so good to me.
Yeah, and on that thing I noticed, I have my reverb. And another thing I noticed about gospel music, have a lot of reverb. So I have a lot of reverb in this, but for his own particular vocal, you can see I reduced the reverb send a little, and so it's not too much. Also, too much reverb ruins everything also. So I have my delays also. For this particular song, there were lots of times where they sort of kept quiet, and to keep the feel going, I had needed to add a lot of reverb. But I have the wet, the parallel compression, the dry, and I have the ad libs, and for the ad libs pretty much the same, but just carrying its own reverb. So here is what it sounds like.
You've been so good to me. You've been so good to me. You've been so good to me.
There's so much to say. How good you been to me, I cannot tell it all.
Yeah, there's so much to say. How good you been to me, I cannot tell it all.
So as you can see, everything is being controlled, sounding full. In my previous video, I explained why I do this most of the time with this particular microphone. So you can go check that out to get more. And for gospel, you don't really need a whole lot of auto-tune. As you can see here, I have my auto-tune, my retune speed set at 10, and I recorded them directly into auto-tune, so I didn't have to tune it anymore later on, and it didn't sound weird adding it afterwards. So I made sure with the recording that they were really on key, so I won't have to do any tweaking on later, so I get a clean tuned sound, and which is what you're going for. Your gospel or any sound that doesn't require too much auto-tune, you need to get a clean sound from it. And mind you, I know it carries, I said it carries a whole lot of reverb, especially for gospel music, but you can see I control the reverb on is the other guy's vocal, and both of the vocal I control the reverb also. I have a pretty good gain staging of the reverb, and the reverb is also controlled here. So let me show you what happens when I turn off the Fruity parametric EQ.
You've been so good to me. You've been so good to me. You've been so good to me.
It sounds okay too, but it's the reverb was just all over the place. You can see the difference right here. Let me play that again.
You've been so good to me. You've been so good to me. You've been so good to me.
There's so much to say.
As you can see, the reverb is a whole lot more controlled and sounds a whole lot better and professional. So I'll advise you to send your delays, apply your reverb and delays as a send, so you can actually manipulate them and control them to actually sound better. So to get a clean sound, also you need to have the frequency limiter under your delays, so you don't get your delays disturbing the main vocals and just making the whole song sound funny. I hope this really helped you all. If it did, please hit the like and subscribe. And tip it out. Producer with the vibe. Thank you so much for watching.